Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name's Alicia. I hope that you will subscribe if you haven't already before you leave. In today's video, we're going to be creating this makeup look using the new Too Faced limited edition Cinnamon Swirl eyeshadow palette. Now, I had been debating picking this up, but whenever it went 50% off on Ulta's website, I decided I should go ahead and grab that. I love the color story of this. We're going to do a look and some comparisons a little bit later on in the video, but I want to go ahead and give you guys some swatches. All right, so this is the palette all swatched out here. As you can tell, very heavy on the browns. You do have a few pinks and then a purple, but a very like everyday type of a color story. I can really dig it. I think that those are the eyeshadow palettes that, while maybe not the most exciting, those are the ones we end up getting the most use out of. So let's go ahead and get into this eye look. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get right into the video. Every year, Too Faced comes out with a few holiday collections. Some of their eyeshadow palettes are in cardboard packaging, and then they make some that are in tin packaging, like this one is. They do make some mini tins, but usually the ones in the tins in general are like the best quality. So the one from 2021 that I'm going to be talking about today is the Cinnamon Swirl palette. And it is supposed to be like a sweet and spicy type of palette is how it's described. Now it smells like a cinnamon roll, so I have never smelled that scent from Too Faced before. Previously they did come out with the gingerbread spice palette, the gingerbread extra spicy palette, and then the pumpkin spice palette. So we'll kind of compare all of the color stories of these. I wanted to go ahead and get this video up because right now this is 50% off on Ulta's website. So if you look on Too Faced website, this still is retailing for $50, but if you shop on Ulta, it's like $24.50. So super good deal. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open this palette up. So this is what the packaging looks like here. Everything with Too Faced, I swear, is just so freaking cute. I love the tin packaging. I think that these are very easy to like stack and store in a drawer, you know what I mean? So I do like that aspect about these as well. Now, looking at the color story, I feel like it is very kind of basic. I mean, you've got this one like pop of color here. Other than that though, this is a pretty like very neutral brown color story. I think today I used a Nabla palette yesterday and it kind of stained my eyelids, so I'm wanting to go more on this dark realm over here. So I think I'm gonna do like a brown smoky eye, and I think if you know you're going for this palette, I think that would be like a key look I would use this palette for. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a sniff. It definitely has got like that red hot type of a smell. I don't know how I feel about putting that like spicy type of vibe around my eye area. You know, usually your eyes, that's kind of like a sensitive area, but you know, we'll go ahead and go into it. First off, I'm going to go into this shade right here called Muffin Top, and I'm going to use that all in the crease. Now, as usual, I have already prepped my eyelids with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I've got my moisturizer done, lip balm, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and pull you guys in closer just so you can really see what's going on. So that shade is very pigmented. I like barely even tapped into that. I mean, it definitely came off to me darker than in the pan, so I think that that is pretty interesting. Next up, I'm gonna go into this warm, like darker matte brown shade, and it is called See Me Rollin'. And I'm going to put this in the crease as well, but just a little bit lower. And when I am doing a smoky eye, what I really like is for the deepness to stay like at the bottom, like lash line. I want it to be darker and then kind of make its way up to being, you know, just light and blended in with my skin. These are blending so good. It's really like I'm not even having to work. It's really just kind of blending itself. Love that for me. All right, I think I'm gonna use my finger to apply the next shade, but I wanna go into this one. This is just like very warm tone brown, and it's like a copper, and this is called Toasted. And I'm going to pat this all over the lid. And sometimes I just love a warm brown smoky eye. And that is what we're vibing with today. Okay, I'm gonna take my smaller blending brush and I'm gonna go back into this See Me Rollin' shade. I'm gonna tap that off and I'm gonna look down into my mirror, and right where that shimmer shade ends, I'm just kind of brushing this up. Okay, just so you get like a nice blend in there. All right, I'm gonna go back into a flat little brush here, and I am gonna go into this dark shade down here, Batter Up. All right, and what I want to do with this shade is kind of keep this like at the lash line. And I just kind of want to keep this on like that outer third. So starting more thick, and then I'm kind of like brushing in to the lashes themselves is how I kind of want that to like fade. So there we go. Now I'm gonna go back into, I keep pinching my finger. I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna go back into that See Me Rollin' shade on the other side. And I'm gonna just pat this like on that outer corner over here. I'm gonna flip it back over to that dark side and build that back up right here. And then I'm just kind of tapping over these two shades right there. No extra product. But yeah, that is it really. I could leave it here, but I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more poppiness. I'm gonna go into this shade right here, which is Love the Bun You're With. And this is just kind of like a lighter coppery shimmery shade. And I'm gonna pat this right in the center and kind of blend it out with a clean finger. Okay. And let's see. I'm gonna go in with Sticky Buns right here, and I just want to see what this shade looks like. So right here, the very inner corner, I'm gonna brush that. It really didn't do too much, honestly. It might have brightened it up a little bit. All right. And then I think I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, which is Frost Those Buns. That's so cute.
All right, so there is the eye look. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. I'm gonna do my other eye, catch up my base, and then we'll be back.
All right, I'm back. I've got my base makeup done. I'm gonna go ahead and run you guys through what I have on the rest of my face. So for foundation, I use the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. I have mine in the shade 510, which is fair. And this has got pretty good coverage, especially for being like a BB cream. For concealer, I pulled out the Patrick Star One Size Concealer, and this is in shade Light 1. I really love the peachy undertone of this. It really cancels out darkness well. I set everything down with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Mattifying Powder. This is in shade Light, and ever since I tried this out the other day, I haven't put it down. It's so nice for setting everything down. It's a smooth powder, doesn't look cakey. It's good for touch-ups as well. I've used it in that way. For bronzer, I went into the Mario bronzer. This is in shade Light Medium. Honestly, I wish I would have just got light. This is a little bit deep for my skin tone, but whenever I'm going for a very like warm tone look, this is what I have been pulling for, and it does blend out super nicely. So I do really like this bronzer. I just wish I had a different shade. For highlighter, I pulled out my Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is her Luminous Powder, and this is in shade Do Me. That is the highlight that I have on my cheekbones. I also have popped a little bit of this on my collarbone as well. Anytime I'm wearing like a low-cut shirt, I love to just put some glow on my chest. But yeah, I have been loving this powder. If you caught my last video, that was one of my favorite products that released in 2021. For blush, one of my favorite products to put on daily, I have on MAC. This is one of their matte blushes, and this is in the shade Copper Tone. This is a newer one to me, but it is quickly becoming one of my favorites. It is what I have got on right now. It is just very, very natural, and especially like, I feel like it could go cool tone or warm tone, but obviously I love the way that it pairs with a warm toned eye look. All right, for brows, no surprise, I'm just using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Medium Brown. And I did go ahead and put on my lipstick combo. So I have on a MAC lip liner and a MAC lipstick. This lip pencil is in the shade Oak. Again, this is a newer one to me, but it is such a beautiful, like, light brown, neutral type of a color. I love this. And then it's very reminiscent of Subculture. So I think those two you could kind of mix in and out for one another. And then for my lipstick, this is a matte lipstick and it is in the shade Kinda Sexy. This is one of my all-time favorite MAC lipsticks. I'm gonna give you a swatch just because it is so freaking pretty. It's kind of peach, it's kind of pink, could go either way. Love it. And you cannot go wrong with MAC lipstick formulas. All right, that gets us all caught up. We can go ahead and finish up the lower lash line. All right, we are gonna go back into our Cinnamon Swirl palette here. I'm gonna go into that dark brown shade that we used, Batter Up. And I'm gonna take a little angled brush and we're just going to dip into this shade. Now these shades do have some kick up. I would definitely recommend tapping your brush off. And I'm gonna get this as close to the lower lash line as I can. And I'm gonna bring that like a third in, maybe even more like a halfway in. Yeah. Okay. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and go into a pencil brush, and I think I'm going to use this shade right here, See Me Rollin', and I'm gonna smoke out that darker shade with this. I love like the warm, like reddish orange undertone of this shade. I absolutely love colors like that. All right, and I'm bringing that like all the way in. Next up, I'm gonna go into the shade Sticky Buns, which was what we put in the very, very inner corner of our eye. And I'm gonna put this on the very inner third. Okay, and I'm gonna go back into that Frost Your Buns shade. And I'm gonna put that, I'm just gonna brighten that corner back up. I feel like we lost a little bit of that with the foundation and concealer. All right, so that is it. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye off of camera, put on my mascara, and then we'll come back for the final thoughts. Alright guys, so this is the finished makeup look. I'm really happy with it. I think it's great for every day. It was very easy to accomplish this look, and I think it looks like we put a lot of time into it, even though we really didn't. Everything blended together so easily. But I do want to do a few comparisons. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Alright guys, so I figured it would be best to kind of get them all in one shot. So this is the gingerbread extra spicy. This is our cinnamon roll that we were reviewing today. Here is the pumpkin spice, and here is the original gingerbread. And as you can see, there are a lot of like the same type of like transition shades, but it is different. Is it different enough to pick up if you have one or two of these other palettes? I don't know. That'll have to be kind of your judgment call. I like it just because I like brown smoky eyes, and I think that this palette is such a good one for that. As you can tell, the pumpkin spice has a little bit more color. This one is a little bit more like berry toned, the original gingerbread, and then the gingerbread extra spicy is a little bit more like reddish tone. But I would say out of any of them, I would say these two are the most comparable, the extra spicy and the cinnamon swirl. But this has a pop of blue, and then of course this has got your purple. So that is, you know, a comparison of the most four recent Too Faced 10 packaging eyeshadow palettes. All right, so as you can tell by the comparisons, if you have picked up any of the previous 3 years Too Faced 10 packaging palettes, you might have some duplication of shades, even if it's just, you know, like this peachy toned transition or warm brown. I mean, those are kind of like warm browns and more like neutral type of browns, cream colors. Those are kind of shades in general that get repeated, but you definitely will have some repeats. Like I said, I think that the spicy gingerbread is the most similar to this one, but that one has a pop of blue, this one has a pop of purple, so it's just gonna be up to you. Now, I definitely will use these shades. I could see me getting a lot of use out of this. I love it. It is superb quality. The scent of it really didn't bother me, to be honest. Like, I thought that it may, but really no issues at all. Once I got it on my eyes, I don't get that scent at all, and I don't think it's going to cause any irritation. It hasn't thus far. So, I mean, for $24.50, that is such a good deal for 18 eyeshadows. Super cute packaging, durable, it's scented. I mean, what's not to like, right? Now for $50, I definitely would not pick this up. In fact, all of the previous ones, I waited until they went like 50% off. So that would be my recommendation to you all. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.